Okay, we are going to talk about sig figs. All right, now, in sig figs, there's a few rules. First rule is really easy, okay? Any number that is not a zero is automatically 100% significant with no exceptions. So, right here, the 1 and the 6, they are significant. Absolutely no exceptions. Okay, same with the 5 and the 4, this 5 and 4, this 107, this 6 and 7, this 1 and 4, this 5. All of those are significant because they're not zeros. Okay, now zeros are a little bit trickier. Sorry, I gotta erase this. Okay, there we go. Zeros are a little bit trickier. We have to look at a few things. There are 3 rules for zeros. Okay, the first one. Oh no, is this? Okay, yeah. The first one is if it's called what's called a sandwiched or trapped zero. Okay, so like for example, this zero right here, that zero is in between 2 non-zero numbers. So that makes this zero significant. If there is 1 or more zeros in between 2 non-zero numbers, it is automatically significant all of the time, 100%, no exceptions. Okay, same with these 2 here. Even if there's 2 of them, they are trapped in between 2 non-zero numbers, so they are significant. Okay, now there's no exceptions to that one, so that's good. The next one is called a leading zero. Okay, a leading zero is just what you might expect, is zeros at the beginning of the number. So actually, let me erase some of these lines first, so we don't get any confusion. Okay, so so these zeros here, those are all leading zeros. These zeros here, these are all leading zeros. Okay, now these leading zeros, it doesn't matter where they are as far as the decimal goes. They can be before the decimal, they can be after the decimal, it doesn't matter. As long as they're before non-zero numbers, they are leading zeros. Okay, so that means they do not count as significant ever, no matter what, no exceptions. Okay, so if they're at the beginning of the number, even if they're after the decimal, like these ones and these ones, they are not significant because they're at the beginning of the number before non-zero numbers. Okay, now the last type of zero is called a trailing zero. And just like their name implies, and you might guess, they are at the end of the number. So that's a trailing zero. These 3 are trailing zeros. These 4 are trailing zeros. And this is a trailing zero. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay, there are exceptions to this one. Okay, trailing zeros are only significant if there is a decimal anywhere in the number. Okay, so for this one right here, this trailing zero is significant because there is a decimal. Okay, if that decimal wasn't there, that zero wouldn't be significant. That decimal is there, so it is significant. And it doesn't matter if it was 160 with a decimal there. Doesn't matter if it was 0.160. Doesn't matter if it was 1.60. Okay, if that decimal exists, that means the trailing zero is significant. Okay, if the decimal is not there, if there is no decimal in the number, then these trailing zeros are not significant. So like this one, the 54,000, okay? These trailing zeros are not significant because there is, hold on, let me erase these. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. These zeros here are not significant because there's no decimal. Now, same number down here, right? 54,000, but the difference is this number does have a decimal right there, so that means those trailing zeros are significant. Okay, again, doesn't matter where the decimal is, just matters that it exists. If the decimal exists and the trailing zeros are there, they are significant. If the decimal does not exist and the trailing zeros are there, they are not significant. So now we're just going to count how many sig figs are in each of these numbers. This one has 3 because the 1 and the 6 are definitely significant, and that 0 is a trailing 0, but it does have a decimal, so it counts. Letter B, this has 2 sig figs because the 5 and the 4 are significant. The trailing zeros are not because there is no decimal. Letter C, the 5 and the 4 are significant, and also all 4 of those zeros are significant because they are trailing zeros and there is a decimal. So we have 6 sig figs there. Now, letter D, these first 4 zeros are not significant because they are leading zeros. Doesn't matter if they're before or after the decimal, they are leading zeros, so they're not significant. So this one has the 1 and the 7, they are significant, and that is a sandwiched 0, so that is also significant. So that's 3 sig figs. That's a really bad 3. 3 sig figs. Next one, letter E, the 6 and the 7 are significant, and the 2 zeros in the middle, those are trapped or sandwich zeros, so those are significant, so we have 4 total there. Letter F, no zeros, just non-zero numbers, so that's 2. Letter G, first 4 zeros are not significant because they are leading zeros. The 5 is significant, and the trailing 0 is significant because there is a decimal. Okay, so that's 2 sig figs. And that is all for that. We'll save math for another video.